Chapter 7, Surprise Visitors. Tuesday, October 27th, Algebra Class. This morning, Principal Gupta, the head of Albert Einstein High School, asked me to come to her office. "Are you very unhappy here at Albert Einstein?" she said. She looked worried. "Last night, in your TV interview, you said I'm not popular. But everyone in the school knows who you are." "They know me because I'm a princess," I replied. "My story was printed in newspapers and magazines. Before that, very few people wanted to know me." "You must join one of the school clubs," said Principal Gupta. "Then you'll meet more students. You'll have more friends." "Principal Gupta," I said, "I don't have time for clubs. I don't have any time for myself after school finishes. Every afternoon, I have an extra algebra class, and then I have a princess class with my grandmother. In the evenings, I do my homework." Principal Gupta doesn't understand. Late morning. Lily's boyfriend, Boris Polkowski, told me a secret about Lily. She is secretly writing a book about our school. I can't believe it. Why does Lily only tell Boris her secrets? Why doesn't she tell me? Lily and I have been best friends since elementary school. I tell Lily everything. Well, almost everything. She didn't know about my mom and Mr. Giannini's wedding and their baby. She doesn't know about my feelings for her brother. And she doesn't know about my secret admirer. But I tell her nearly everything else. Afternoon. Kenny, my partner in biology class, spoke to me after class today. "Are you doing anything on Saturday night?" he asked. "I'm not sure," I replied. "Maybe I'll be eating dinner with my family." "Well, I'm going to see a movie, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, with some friends from the computer club," he said. "Will you come too?" "Is Michael Moskowitz one of your friends?" I asked. "Yes," said Kenny. 6 p.m. in the limousine. I'm with Lars. We're going back to the apartment. I've just been to see Grand-mère at the Plaza Hotel for my princess lesson. I walked into the suite, and I had a shock. Lots of people were there. There were people talking about food and wine and flowers. Others were writing names on cards. Vigo was running about, telling everyone what to do. Grand-mère was sitting and eating chocolates. Her little dog was sitting under her chair. He was shaking with fear. "Ah, Amelia," said Grand-mère. "Sit down. You can help me. Taste these chocolates. Which chocolates are best for the wedding guests?" "Grand-mère," I said, sitting down on a chair next to her, "Mom really won't be happy about these arrangements. She doesn't want a big wedding." "Nonsense," said Grand-mère loudly, in a scary voice. "This will be a wonderful event. I'm inviting lots of famous people. Many of them are very rich. Some of them are members of royal families." It's impossible to argue with Grand-mère. She never listens to me. So after my princess class, I went to my dad's hotel suite. I knocked on the door, but he didn't answer. I went and talked to the hotel receptionist. "The prince left the hotel a few hours ago," she said. "Beverly Bellry was with him." 10 p.m. When I got home, there were strangers in the apartment. A family. A mom and a dad and a boy with long blonde hair was in the dining room. They were sitting around the table. They had suitcases with them. "Mia, don't you remember me?" asked the woman. I stared at her. Suddenly, I recognized the woman. My mouth fell open in shock. I couldn't believe it. "Grandmother Thermopolis?" I said. "Mia," said the woman, "you've never called me grandmother. I'm Mamour." My mom's mother, Mamour, and my mom's father, Papour, were in our apartment. I didn't recognize the young guy. He was dressed like a farmer. He was wearing a cotton shirt and denim overalls. My mom's parents live in the state of Indiana. Indiana is hundreds of miles away from the state of New York. My grandparents live in a small town called Versailles. They've never been to New York City before. My mom doesn't talk to her parents very often. We haven't visited Maman or Papa for 4 years. When I was born, they were angry. This was because my mom didn't marry my father. My grandparents didn't help my mom when I was a baby. They didn't give her advice or any money. I went to find my mom. She was in her bedroom. She was talking to my dad on the phone. "Philippe," she was saying angrily, "your mother has invited my parents to New York. My parents, Philippe. You know how I feel about my parents." Then she saw me standing by the door. "Are your grandparents still out there?" she whispered. Yes," I said. "Did you invite Maman and Papa here?" "No, I did not," said my mom. "Grandmère Clarice invited them. She's arranged a big wedding. It's gonna be on Saturday." Her voice was getting louder and louder. "Your grandmère has invited hundreds of people, all her friends." I felt terrible. I had forgotten to tell my mom about grandmère's wedding plans. Mom held out the phone toward me. "Your dad wants to talk to you," she said. "Mia?" said my dad. "I've arranged for your mother's parents to stay at the Soho Grand Hotel. It's near your apartment. I'll send Lars with the limousine. Put the Thermopolises in the car. Lars will take them to the hotel." "Okay, Dad," I said. "But what about Grandmère's plans for the wedding?" "Don't worry, Mia," he said. "I'll talk to Grandmère." I returned to the living room. My grandparents were still sitting at the table, but the young guy was in the kitchen. He was looking inside the refrigerator. "I'm hungry," he said. "Do you have anything to eat?" "No," I said, "but you'll be able to order food from your hotel room." "A hotel room?" said Maman. "Papa and your cousin Hank and I have come all the way from Indiana to see you, and you're going to put us in a hotel?" I stared at the big blonde guy. This was my cousin Hank? Hank is the son of my mom's sister, Marie. When I last saw Hank, he was about 13 years old, and I was about 10. Hank had been a thin little boy. Now he was big and more than 6 feet tall. "That Frenchwoman, Clarice Ronaldo, called us," said Maman. "She told us to come here. She was going to pay for our visit. We can't pay for an expensive New York hotel." "That's okay," I said. "My father will pay your hotel bill." "Oh, good," said Maman, smiling. "Let's go." When Lars came with the limousine, I went with them to the hotel. But when we arrived at the Soho Grand, I had another surprise. "Mia, will you take Hank to school with you tomorrow?" asked Maman. "Oh, you don't want to go to school with me, Hank," I said quickly. "You're on vacation." "But I want to see what a New York City high school is like," said Hank. When he said New York, Hank pronounced the words New York. People from Indiana don't speak like people who live in New York. They have a different accent. Then Hank whispered to me so that Maman didn't hear. "And I want to see what New York girls are like," he said. So I had to say okay. When I got home, Mom was lying on her bed. She was reading a magazine. Her eyes were red from crying. "Oh, Mia," she said. "Come here and let me hug you. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person. Grandmère Clarice has made me angry and upset. She's planned everything. She's arranged when I will be married. She's chosen the place for my wedding. She's invited the guests. And Grandmère asked my parents to come to New York. They've come all the way from Indiana to see me, but I didn't want to speak to them. I didn't want them to stay here. I sent them to a hotel. But I didn't think about your feelings." I felt sorry for my mom. Pregnancy should be a happy time. All this is Grandmère's fault. She's made my mom unhappy. 11 p.m. Josie Rocks has sent me another email. Josie Rocks. Dear Mia, I saw you on TV last night. You looked beautiful. Don't worry about your problems with some people at school. You're really great. That's what most of us think. Your friend. I wrote back immediately. F.T. Louie. Dear friend, thank you very much. Please tell me who you are. I won't tell anyone, I promise. Mia. My secret admirer hasn't written back yet.